Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try, you become invisible? That you give 200% of yourself? That you're the most empathetic person in the room, and in return you only receive crumbs, or worse, contempt? You were sold a dangerous lie from childhood. You were told if you are good, docile, and pleasing, the world will reward you. That silent kindness is the key to respect. False. Neuroscience is brutally honest about this. The human brain is a primitive hierarchy scanner. When you walk into a room, in less than 100 milliseconds, long before you open your mouth, other people's amygdalae have already decided whether you are a threat, a leader, or someone they can ignore without consequences. If you feel like people take you for a fool, it's not because you have bad luck or because people are cruel by nature. It's because, without realizing it, your body, your tone of voice, and your micro gestures are biologically screaming insecurity. You're broadcasting the biochemical signal of prey, and the world instinctively treats you as such. But I have good news. Your brain is plastic. You can hack this signal. Today I'm not going to give you empty motivational advice. I'm going to teach you how to activate what I call the goddess effect. A cognitive and behavioral restructuring so you stop asking permission to exist and start becoming the priority option in any environment. If you stay, you'll discover how to force other people's brains to respect you instantly, not through magic, but through pure psychology. To change your reality, you first need to understand a fundamental rule of social psychology that we often ignore: the law of value projection. Your brain and the brains of those around you are connected by an invisible wireless system, mirror neurons. When you interact with someone, they're not just listening to your words, they're scanning your internal state. If deep in your psyche you feel like a burden, like you're not enough, or like you don't belong in that meeting or relationship, your body shouts it. In clinical terms, this is called incongruence. You can say, "I'm very competent," but if your micro-expressions show fear and your posture is closed, the other person's reptilian brain detects a low status signal. And here's the cruel part of human nature: we treat others strictly according to the value they project themselves. Think about it. You don't greet a renowned surgeon the same way you greet someone handing out flyers on the street. It's not about politeness. It's about perceived authority. The problem is that you've probably spent years training your environment to disrespect you. How? Through submissive behaviors you've normalized. Apologizing when you've done nothing wrong. That nervous laugh at the end of every sentence to soften your opinion. Making yourself physically smaller so you don't take up space. Being available 24/7. Giving away your time as if it were worthless. All of this sends a clear chemical and behavioral message to the world: I'm a clearance item. Treat me cheap. And the most dangerous part of this cycle is confirmation bias. Because people treat you badly, you confirm your belief that you're not worth much, and you shrink even more. It's a self-destructive neurobiological loop. But what if I told you we can reverse the polarity of this mechanism? What if you could hack this system so instead of projecting insecurity, you project what I call high-status stillness, even if inside you're terrified? What you're going to learn today isn't acting. It's a restructuring of your internal hierarchy. We're going to see how to stop being the good girl and become someone who sets her own market price. And it all starts with one word, a word you probably repeat dozens of times a day without noticing, like a nerdist tick, an automatic defense mechanism lodged in your basal ganglia. I'm talking about the word sorry. I'm not talking about genuine apology, the kind that comes from ethical repair when you've truly hurt someone. I'm talking about chronic apology. The apology you use as social lubricant, as a protective shield, as a way of asking permission simply to take up space and time. Picture this scene. You're at the supermarket in the yogurt aisle. Someone turns sharply with their cart and almost hits you. What's your instinctive reaction? Before your prefrontal cortex can process the injustice, your mouth already fires, "Oh, sorry." Stop and analyze that coldly. That person almost ran you over, invaded your personal space, and you apologized. Why? This takes us into evolutionary psychology. In the animal kingdom, and we are still sophisticated mammals, there are appeasement signals. When a low-ranking primate crosses paths with an alpha and fears aggression, it automatically shrinks, avoids eye contact, and makes itself small. Biologically, it's saying, "I'm not a threat. Don't attack me. You're unnecessary, sorry." Is the modern verbal, social version of that primate shrinking. Every time you apologize for something that isn't your fault, for asking a question in class, for asking the waiter for the bill, for taking 3 seconds to reply to a message, or simply for existing near someone, you're sending a biochemical signal to your own brain and to theirs. Neurobiologically, this is devastating. Each time you apologize from insecurity, you activate your stress axis. You reinforce the neural network that associates your identity with guilt and being a burden. Neurons that fire together wire together. If every social interaction triggers the apology pathway, you're wiring your brain to feel inferior by default. You're training your brain to believe you are a burden, and the worst part isn't what you do to yourself. It's what you provoke in others. The human brain is a cognitive miser. It looks for shortcuts. If you label yourself as guilty or annoying by apologizing, the other person's brain accepts that label. If you say, "Sorry for bothering you, I just have a minute," you framed your presence as an annoyance before adding any value. This is where transformation begins. The first habit to activate the goddess effect is radical apology detox. This isn't just changing words. It's changing your emotional paradigm. We're going to replace guilt with gratitude. Why gratitude? Because gratitude is a high-status emotion. Guilt looks downward at your flaw. Gratitude looks up or eye to eye. It recognizes the other person's virtue and your own worth in acknowledging it. Example 1, being late. You arrive 5 minutes late. The good girl instinct tells you to enter apologizing profusely. You've put yourself in the role of the scolded child. The goddess alternative: head up, calm, eye contact, warm but steady smile. "Thank you for waiting for me." Notice the energetic difference. You validate their patience and maintain your status. You communicate that your presence was worth the wait. Example 2, communication. You've spoken at length. The submissive instinct: sorry, I'm talking too much. Translation: what I say has no value. The goddess alternative: thank you for listening. Example 3, physical space. Someone bumps into you. The submissive instinct: sorry. The goddess alternative: silence or, excuse me, or steady eye contact if they bumped into you. If you didn't make a mistake, don't apologize. The space your body occupies is yours by birthright. Your body will resist this change. You'll feel anxiety when you stop yourself from apologizing. That anxiety is good. It means you're breaking an old neural connection and building a new one based on self-respect. Others will also resist. They're used to your submission. Their confusion is the first step toward respect. And remember this: a woman who believes she is the best never apologizes for existing. She apologizes when she causes harm, yes, but never for being, for occupying space, for speaking, or for feeling. From here the text continues into slowing your movements, stopping over, explaining, shifting from seller to buyer energy, setting boundaries, tolerating emptiness, accepting rejection without collapse, and understanding that respect is enforced through behavior, not requests. At its core, the message is this: the goddess effect isn't about controlling others. It's about filtering them. When you stop lowering your standards, insecure, manipulative, and disrespectful people fall away on their own. That's not loss. That's cleanup. Your value is non-negotiable. The crown has always been on your head. You just have to lift your chin enough so it doesn't fall. The world will treat you exactly as you teach it to treat you. The class is over. The test begins the moment you turn off the screen.